Is this TBR overly ambitious? Obviously, come on, it wouldn't be a TBR video if it wasn't. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen and you've reached my little corner of the internet. Today we are going over my overly ambitious, way too many books, probably won't read them all, spring TBR. I've actually never done, even before filming YouTube, like a spring TBR. I've pretty much, since I started posting on YouTube, have just been a mood reader, and since starting to post on YouTube pretty frequently, I try to stick to that as much as I can, because at the end of the day, that's what reading is really about, just picking up books that you like, and you should be enjoying them. I just finished a book that I hated, but you know what? That's okay. Anyway, today we're going over my spring TBR / like books I have on my radar for spring. I have books I pulled from my physical TBR, as well as some books that I do not own, but I have been dying to read, and I feel like springtime is going to be the perfect time to pick up some of these books. No shock to anybody, but 99% of these books are romances. Sue me. I don't care. I have one fantasy on this list, and I'll just say it right now. It's Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Can we put up the picture, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's Fearless by Lauren Roberts. It just came out, I think. It is the last book in the Powerless. I don't know if it has a name. The first book is Powerless, and then Reckless, and then there was a little novella in between called Powerful, and the last book, Fearless, just came out. It is a YA fantasy, and it's actually Lauren Roberts' debut trilogy, I believe, which is really cool, and it hit the ground running. I mean, Powerless became so popular within the last 2 years. It wasn't a 5-star for me, but I really enjoyed it enough to continue to Reckless, and now I want to just wrap it all up with Fearless. Won't lie, kind of forgot how the end of Reckless played out. Oh, I remember now. Oh yeah, it was a cliffhanger, obviously. So excited to see how Pei and Kai kind of tie this whole thing together. So yeah, just wow, that was really jumped right into it there, but just saying that was the only fantasy book that I had on my radar. And yeah, these are the rest of the romance books that I have on my spring TBR. So grab a coffee, sit down, maybe open your book and start reading. If you want to ignore me, that's fine. I ignore me sometimes too. So let's go over my spring TBR. So I have my laptop here because I wrote down the books that I do not have but want to read. Some of them are not out yet. Some of them recently have just come out. And a few of them are authors I've never read from and are popular romance books that really caught my eye. And I think they're on Kindle Unlimited, which is why I wanted to read them anyway, because I was like, I need to get back into the habit of reading on Kindle Unlimited before buying the physical copy. That's literally why I'm subscribed to Kindle Unlimited, is so I can read a book first, and if I don't like it, then I don't buy the shelf trophy. So, wow, I fumbled my words there. That's okay. So we talked about Fearless already, which was the only fantasy that I had on my list, but it's spring, and I want to read romance books, so sorry. So the one book I have on here that actually is not out yet is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Y'all know. I'm actually currently in the middle of filming a reading vlog for Funny Story. If you don't know, I read Beach Read in 2022, way before I started YouTube, and didn't like it and gave the book away. If you saw another vlog of mine, I actually have the special edition copy of Beach Read. I thought it was pretty and I bought it. So, but now reading Funny Story, I'm almost 50% of the way through. I can see myself rereading Beach Read. So, I'm putting Great Big Beautiful Life on my list. Okay, just quickly read the summary because I had no idea what it was about, which most of these books, I don't really know what they're about, but that's okay. So this follows Alice and Hayden, and they are writing a biography of a woman that no one has seen in years. Taylor Swift, please, no one has seen you in so long. Drop Rep TV. Thank you so much. So basically, the woman they're writing a biography about is a tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. And this woman is claiming to be her, could be her, they don't know. And she brings in Alice and Hayden to write her story, but she gives each of them different pieces of her life and they can't swap information because of an NDA. And there's some tension, some sort of spark, I guess, in between them that they can't deny whenever they're in the same room as each other. And they don't know if they're getting the whole story or if they're even getting the truth. So this sounds like it's going to read more literary fiction than romance, but still some sort of subplot of romance in here at least. And I can't wait to see what Emily puts in this book, because I'm actually kind of enjoying funny stories so far. So yeah, that is the first book I have on my spring TBR. So the next book I have on my spring TBR is actually a new author for me. It's Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bestone, which I believe was released in March this year, and it is a heartfelt slow burn romance that explores grief, healing, and unexpected connection. Honestly, I won't lie, the cover is really what got me because it has like a sunset on it and it looks really pretty. And that's about it. So if you've read this, let me know. I don't really know anything about Cara and her writing, so I'm kind of excited to possibly dive into this one. All right, the next book I have is What If I Never Get Over You by Paige Toon. I actually read Only Love Can Hurt Like This last year, I believe, and I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. That's the only book I've read by her, but it was very emotional. I remember it being impactful, realistic. So I haven't picked up any other of her book, but I was at Barnes the other day and I was obviously in the romance section and I saw that book and a few of her others and I started picking them out and reading the summaries and I was like, wow, these sound really devastating, sad, and heartfelt. Why haven't I read any of them? Out of all the ones that I was looking that were on the shelf, What If I Never Get Over You, right? Yeah, stood out to me. So this follows Ellie and Ash. Ellie is traveling through Europe and she is in Lisbon and meets Ash, and they over 3 days they form a powerful connection and they agree to meet up again in Spain, and Ash never shows up. 6 years later, Ellie is working for a Viscount and Viscountess in Wales, and Ash shows back up because of course he does, and he explains why he never went to Spain, and apparently it's very heartbreaking. It wasn't explained in the summary, obviously we have to read it to find out. It is explained as a one day meets a contemporary Bridgerton in this high drama escapist wonder of a love story. Sign me up. Okay, the next book that I have is on Kindle Unlimited. It's The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and another author I've never read from. I've been meaning to get into her books. Most of her books are on Kindle Unlimited and everybody raves about them and I must know why. So I added this one to the list. I believe the girl is the bodyguard and the guy is the celebrity, and that's pretty much all I know, and that's all I need to read it. So yeah, this one's on my spring TBR as well. The next book I have, also on Kindle Unlimited, is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, another author I haven't read from, but again, everyone raves about this book. I believe it is second chance romance, kind of like they're married and they're falling out of love, and they also have to co-parent and run a business together. And it's the first book in an interconnected standalone series by Kennedy. So I definitely want to get into her and her writing. Again, it sounds like it's a very realistic, heartfelt, gut-wrenching romance story, and that's really what I want. So I'm probably going to read it. Okay, the last book that I don't physically own is Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles, another author I've never read, and it's on KU. Yes. This one also blew up on TikTok, and apparently a lot of people cried, and it's this interconnected standalone series as well. Brother's best friend, forced proximity-ish. He's the contractor on her new house. Cool. The cover is kind of what drew me away from this book for a little bit. But then when I saw people reading it and it was getting picked up on TikTok heavily, I was like, what is this book? I must know. It also sounds like Grumpy Sunshine, which I love. I'm a Kate and Willa girl all the way. So if it's anything like this, I'm very excited. And apparently there are secrets. If you read this, let me know. I'm very excited to add this one to my list as well. All right, so that is all the books that I have on my mental list that I don't physically own at the moment for my spring TBR. So let's get into the books I actually do have, and that should actually be a priority, but probably won't be. So when I think of springtime and romance, I think of small towns. I don't know why, but it's just something that sounds so... I mean, you could really read a small town any time of year, but I just, especially right now, it just sounds so perfect. So I have a few small town romances on my list. The first one being Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. First book in this Rebel Blue Ranch series. Also would be a new author for me. Don't really know too much about it. I know it's a small town and Emmy's older brother's best friend. Oh, brother's best friend. That's all that. See how fast I just get hooked in? That's all. The title. Like this right here. She's off limits, but he's never been good at following the rules. Yes. The next two books I have are Wild Eyes and Wild Side, which are books 2 and 3 in the Rose Hill series. I read Wild Love last month. Absolutely devoured it. Oh my gosh. Ford Grant, the man that you are. So obviously Elsie Silver had to make it on this list. Definitely want to get to these soon. Very excited to get into them. I haven't seen too many great things about Wild Side. I mean, I already know I'm gonna like it. Am I gonna love it? I don't know, but I don't know how I could not like an Elsie Silver book, but very excited for Wild Eyes because this follows West, right? Weston? Yeah, he is Rosie's older brother in Wild Love, and very excited to read about him and his story. So yeah, these are the next two books on my spring TBR. Would it be a proper spring TBR book without an Abby Jimenez novel? I don't think so. So this is her new release, Say You'll Remember Me. The self-control that I'm having to not read this, as soon as I got in the mail last week, I have no idea how I am doing this right now. This has to be read in the spring. Has to be. There's no option for me. And the cover, well, this is the one from Target, but so our two main characters, they meet and then she ends up moving to California, I think it is, so they live 2,000 miles apart, and it's remember me please after our one night of amazingness, and that's it really. And I will probably read it because I will read Abby Jimenez grocery list, so of course this would be on my spring TBR. Okay, just a few more books here. I talked about this in one of my vlogs, whatever. I don't remember which. I recently got Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan last week. It's not going on this list because it's a summer book, even though I'll probably sneak in some summer romances in May. But I did end up getting Nora Goes Off Script, so I definitely want to read this before getting into summer romance. Because she's also an author I haven't read from yet. So many new authors on this list. Wow. So essentially this is a romance channel screenwriter, Nora, and her husband leaves her with her 2 kids. And from that devastation, she writes the best script of her life. Sounds interesting. And to fill in the role of her ex-husband for this screenplay, I guess it's a famous actor. Oh, he's the former sexiest man alive, Leo Vance. Yep, she's definitely going to fall in love with him, especially if he's living in her house for a week. Come on now. Come on. Enough time to fall in love, enough time to break your heart. Yeah, obviously I want to read, and it's so short. Wow. And the writing looks sweet. I mean, I'm ready for this. Honestly, who's to say I don't pick this up after I finish Funny Story? So very excited to dive into Annabelle and her writing. I feel like this book just keeps showing up every time I do some sort of book video. This is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Surprise pregnancy trope. That's all I know. Everybody loves it. Need I say more? The next book I have is Begbar's Steel by Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the When in Rome little interconnected standalone series she got going on. This follows two like rival elementary school teachers, I believe, and that's pretty much all I know. Their names are Emily and Jack. Rivals, teachers, romance. Yeah, obviously. I do love Sarah's writing. She does a great job writing yearning, a male point of view. I love her male point of views. And she also does closed door romance, if you didn't know that. So very excited to get back into a Sarah Adams book. I read Practice Makes Perfect last year or in 2023. Wow, my sense of time is so bad, but yeah, very excited to get back into another Sarah Adams book. And the last book I have is a debut novel and an author I've never read from before. This is You with a View by Jessica Joyce. I mean, look at this cover. Does it not scream springtime? Like road tripping. This is exactly what this book is about. It's a road trip. Two former high school enemies must reunite for a road trip, inspired by their grandparents' broken engagement in this electric debut romance. So, very curious. I'm hesitant a little bit on this one to see how fast the enemies to lovers progresses, because sometimes by page 30 they're already hooking up and you're like, where was the enemies isn't there. But the premise sounds super cute, super fun, and a lot of people love this one too, and her other book, which is The X-Vows, which I really want to read as well. So but I just thought I would start with this one and throw this one on the list. Okay, that is everything I have for you today. Those are the books on my spring TBR. Let me know down in the comments below what's on your spring TBR. I would love to know. And if you have any other book recommendations, or if you've read any of these books, let me know what you think of them. A lot of you sounded off in the comments about Mile High, and I'm so grateful for that, because that was a time. Reading that was so... I'll save it for the reading wrap up at the end of April. You're just going to have to stay tuned for that one. That's all I have for you today. Make sure to like this video if you did enjoy watching it. If you didn't, give it a like anyway, because it's free and it's one push of a button. Same with the subscribe button. You should subscribe. If you want to see more beauty and books content, make sure to subscribe to my channel, please. I would so appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, all the links to my socials are down below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with more of my life outside of YouTube. I do want to do like an Instagram Q&A to film for YouTube, so follow me on there and you can stay tuned to my stories to see when I post that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right, bye.